Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. Devastating news has just dropped across Twitter. Tom Barkley has confirmed it now. It looks like it's been confirmed by Ali Gold as well. And that is that Mohammed Kudus is out. He's had a setback to his injury and that he is... Well, he's certainly not going to be playing on Sunday, and he certainly won't be around, or potentially for the rest of the season, especially if he does in fact require surgery. I've got the stories for you to go through. I don't know how long this will be. This stream will be. There's a couple of bits and pieces I want to talk about. Ronald Araujo even is being linked with the football club. James Trafford. Other things that we're talking about. We are here on the Spurs Talk Show, and in fact, we are here on Football Inc. as well. So please do smash the like button and smash the subscribe if you haven't already. Notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. We are available on all your podcast platforms on both channels, Football Inc. and Spurs Talk Show. So please do smash a follow, a rating, and a review over there. And we're also sponsored by OK Jersey on both channels. So you can get 8% off your national team kits for 2026 for the World Cup. I've got my Nigerian one coming through because not only am I 8% off, but I'm also 8%. What is this? You can use code Sean or you can use code FINC depending on which channel you're on. Please get over to Football Inc. as well and smash a like over there if you're coming through this particular channel, Spurs Talk Show. How is everybody? How's everybody doing? I wasn't even sure if there was anything to talk about today. I was going to save it for tomorrow. And I was thinking, I took yesterday off, did a little bit of a transfer news, views and clues show, but there really isn't anything to get too excited about right now. Just getting through the end of the Easter break and the international break. And then this one hits us. I mean, it's the worst possible one. I think of all of the injuries that we could have had right now, or setbacks, I think Kudus is probably arguably the most devastating one. If it's true, I'm going to be showing you anything right now, just because, for me, so much of my optimism around how we might be able to get out, signing De Zerbi, getting De Zerbi in, seeing the optimism around the camp, seeing the fact that the players are all buying in, according to reports, I was just of the impression that things were just starting to look a little bit better. And I was thinking that maybe Tottenham can get through this one. But Mohammed Kudus was a massive part of that, guys. He was an absolutely huge part of that story for me. Because having the dual threat, having Matisse Tell down the left-hand side, having Mohammed Kudus down the right-hand side, having Xavi Simons in the middle, having an informed Archie Gray that can get the ball and can play it into those channels, it would be difficult. It would be balanced. It would be interesting, direct, and technical and challenging for opposition to be able to know how to set up in accordance with what's the most likely outcomes. I was really looking forward to seeing possession-based football with balance to a 4-2-3-1 and seeing what can happen. And if this is true, then it really is bad luck. And Tottenham Hotspur once again, the injuries just killing us. They really are absolutely destroying our season. Well, there's lots of things that have ruined our season, but let's hope this one isn't true. But here we go. This is the story. This was done by Tom Barkley. I think he was the first one to drop it. At the same time, though, a little bit of fair dues for this guy, SYZPRIV, because I think he was actually the first. Was it him that was the first one, or was it? Let's have a look. No, it was this guy. It's this guy, SZY Priv, this guy, who seems to know a little thing or two about a thing or two. So Jack Peter on April the 4th said, "Is Kudus back in training yet?" And on April the 6th, which was 3 days ago, he said he was doing his own individual sessions today, still yet to return to full training. And then someone said he'll defo be back by Brighton. And then at 12:53, he said he's unlikely to play another game this season. And straight after that, I am showing that on the screen, aren't I? Yeah, I am, yeah. And straight after that, Tom Barkley's come out with this one saying, Mohammed Kudus is believed to have suffered an injury setback in what would be a major blow to relegation threatening Tottenham, while there are fears it could throw the Ghana Stars' participation at this summer's World Cup into jeopardy. Kudus, 25, has been out since January with a crocked quad Also got a crocked squad, a crocked quad and hamstring. Spurs were hoping he would return to action this month to play a vital part in their battle against the drop, but that looks in doubt now. It's unclear what the fresh issue is exactly, but sources suggest Kudus could even require surgery. It's not confirmed, but you know these things don't get out unless there's a problem. Roberto De Zerbi, who came close to signing Kudus when in charge of Brighton, will be hoping the damage is minor as he attempts to save Spurs from going down. Tottenham will be in the bottom three by the time De Zerbi takes charge of his first game at Sunderland on Sunday if 18th place West Ham beat Wolves 2 days prior. Kudus joined from the Hammers last summer in a £55 million deal and has netted 2 goals and grabbed 5 assists this term. He's been a big miss for Spurs since he suffered his injury against Sunderland on January the 4th. Ghana will be praying for Kudus' fitness as he is one of their talisman going into the World Cup along with Manchester City wide man Antoine Semenyo. God, imagine those two going at you. Semenyo on the left and Kudus on the right, if you're playing Semenyo off the left-hand side. The Black Stars in the same group as England, along with Croatia and Panama, and face Thomas Tuchel's side in Boston on June 23rd. De Zerbi will now have to plan for vital matches without the forward. The North London side returns to Premier League action as they travel to the Stadium of Light on April the 12th. This is then followed by a reunion with the Italian manager with his former club. Brighton, Spurs are just 1 point above, yada, yada, yada. De Zerbi has brought in some extra help as Italians. Marcatilli. So good they named him twice. And Marcello Quinto have been added to the coaching staff. More to follow. I do want to see if I can find the Football Inc. Sorry, not the Football Inc. The Football London story as well on this one. See if Ali Gold has brought anything else into it. Yeah, here we go. Let's get it for us here. Let's see if there's any further details. Is it coming from Ali Gold? Is it coming from Ali Gold? Yes, it is. I hate this thing. Go away. Here we go. Is there any further details? It's believed to have had a setback as he was just to return from action of long-term quad injury. He'd originally suffered a serious quad tendon injury, the draw against Sunderland. So we have a big 3 weeks after this game on Sunday. He will probably do some part of the things with the squad, maybe 10 days after the break. The Croatian had told Football London. I don't know. I'm not sure. We need to check, but he is progressing very well already a little bit with the ball. However, Kudus is yet to appear in any footage from training, and Football London understands that the Ghana star has faced a setback with his quad, although the extent is unclear. There are some suggestions that an operation may be required, and if so, that could potentially place the remainder of his season and World Cup participation in doubt. Okay, so he hasn't got any further information either. Unconfirmed, unclear, but concerning. Super concerning. I haven't seen him in any of the training videos either. I was expecting to see him out, but the fact we haven't seen it is problematic. Let's see what the chat is saying, guys. Let's see what the chat is saying. Big up to everyone. Please do smash the like and smash subscribe. Let's get to the chat. First and foremost, my man Box Kev. Big up to you, Boxy. Thank you so much, my man. Always here, always supporting. Another $20 super sticker. Choo choo to you, buddy. Choo choo to you. Where's my choo choo sound? Here he goes. Big up to you, Boxy. I appreciate you, mate, very much indeed, mate. Always here, always supporting. Super generous, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Really devastating, this, isn't it, if it comes in. Let's see what the chat's saying. Is this a fact or just reported? Just reported so far. It's not actually confirmed, but there's just reports, apparently. Reported it from Ali Gold. Yes, says, afternoon, Kate and Jimbo. Afternoon. This club marquee. Dice club. Dice club. Now, I don't know what you're supposed to do, right? With regard, I mean, listen, you never know, right? Eventually, you have to make the assumption that there is so many injuries and injury setbacks. Like, it's one thing for a player to get injured. It's another thing for them to come back on time and then get back to it. But the amount of injuries that we have is one thing, not necessarily on the medical team, but the amount of injuries that happen either immediately after a player comes back, so they come back too soon. It's happened 2 or 3 times with Lucas Bergvall. It happened with Romero, didn't it? Or was it Mickey van der Ven? I forget, under Ange Postecoglou. There's plenty and plenty of times this season and last season when players have come back from an injury and then got injured again very quickly. And the amount of times also that we've just had expected return dates that are then pushed back and pushed back and pushed back because of setbacks. Again, I'm not a medic, Right, I'm not in any way, shape, or form am I clued up on any of this stuff. But you just like at some point you have to sit there and kind of go, it can't all just be bad luck. It can't surely be all bad luck. Now, whether the medical team are not as good as other teams have, or whether they are just as good, because at the end of the day, it's a science, right? Generally speaking, I know it's like nuanced and things, but generally speaking, every single person that's going to be the doctor at Tottenham, the physios, they've all passed their training, they've all passed their courses, they've all done all of their exams. It's a science, right? After a while, you understand the body. I know that there's individual things with like Becky's injury being so unique and so rare that there is no book to go to on a guideline on that one. Fair enough. But general muscle issues, injuries in a footballing world, you'd think that like every muscle injury has been seen 1,000 times before. I don't know. I don't want to cast shade or doubt or whatever on their credibility, but you know, they have sacked the medical team and they've gone through a full revamp, didn't they? They started putting out on LinkedIn, you know, medical like advertising. These sorts of jobs are so important. They're so impactful on revenue, on performance, on long-term happiness of the fan base, the customer base, all that stuff. You'd think that those things are so relevant that those things wouldn't be just like, they wouldn't put applications out. They wouldn't say like, oh, you know, apply if you think you're the right guy for the job. You think they'd have some idea of who it is they'd be looking for, or they'd at least go and get like a what do they call them? A headhunting firm to go and find the right people. Putting applications out on LinkedIn for these sorts of jobs, for those things that are that important, to me comes across a little bit cringy, and just another demonstration of this football club not really operating like a multi-billion-pound enterprise. You wouldn't catch other multi-billion-pound enterprises doing that with those sorts of roles that are so important. You know, if you're a FTSE 100 company and, I don't know, you need a new accountant to make sure that your books are good for the auditing of the FTSE 100, you're not going to put the job application out on LinkedIn, are you? Or are you? I don't know. I would have thought no. I would have thought you'd know who you want. You'd headhunt people for those sorts of things. But either way, I don't know. Big up to Tundioni. Big up Tundioni. My 8% Nigerian brother. Make sure you rock that jersey when it arrives. Yeah, it's going to be here in a couple of weeks, mate. Of course I'm rocking it. I can't wait. I've got the 2025 version, because I don't think they've got the 26 version on the site yet, which is outrageous. So, Sean, are you 8% likely to run an internet scam? What do you think this channel is, bro? I'm a massive fraud. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Big up to you, Flixie. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. In fact, let me see if anyone wants to jump on. Let me put it into the chat. Let me put it into my WhatsApp group. Because we've got some time to. Here we go. If anyone wants to join. Because I've got some time, but there's not a hell of a lot to talk about. So I also want to know if anybody wants to, on Football Inc., I need to go through the predicciones for Friday. Oh, yeah, for tomorrow. So this will be the last chance I get. So if there's anybody out there at the end of the show who wants to just represent the chat, then they can make the predictions for the chat for the Premier League predictions. So let me know in the comment section if anyone wants to come on or to do it via the chat, and we'll go from there, people. We'll go from there. But yeah, massive blow. Absolutely huge bloody blow this is. Absolutely huge blow. Big up to Danny Kiriakou in the chat. Big up to you. We've got a couple more super chiddly chit-chats. We've got big up to Dino Chudini. Big up to you, mate. Choo to you, bro. Hope you're okay, my man. Hope you're okay. Are you going to Sunderland, bro? Are you going to be on Sunderland? Let me know. Part of the reason I wanted to go to Sunderland, part of the few reasons why I wanted to go to Sunderland, was because I wanted to see Kudus and Matisse Tell in De Zerbi's first game. Well, that's not happening anymore, is it? So Butler's problems get bigger. Butler's problems get bigger. What are we doing here? Big up to Coffee. Benny Boy, big up to you, my man. He says, oh, cheers to whoever gave me a member thingy. Whoop, whoop. What does that mean? What's a member thingy? Big up to you, mate, for your loyalty, bro. You've been a long time member. Unless you were a member for 27 months and then it was gifted to you and then you didn't realise. Big up to you, my man. Appreciate you, Ben. I know that's not the case. I know you've been a member for a long time, mate. Big up to you. Big up to you. Get yourself on, Kiriakou. Get yourself on, Kate, if you fancy it. what is crack-a-lacking? Anyway, so look, now we've got to figure out what we're going to do with regards. I guess it means that Kolo Muani is going to have to play, right? Let's go and get the foot mob. Let's get the foot mob in. You know, how do I do this? There we go. So, oh, what's going on there? Are we thinking something like this now then for Sunderland? Such a massive game as well. Where's there he is. This and then something like, I mean, that might, like, not having the outlet might even change the way that you're going to play in the midfield. I know a lot of people are saying it's going to be Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall, and it might well be because, but judging by all accounts, the way that they've been looking on the training ground, that it looks like that was going to be it. I think this was going to be, where am I? This was going to be the team. Actually, that wasn't it. Him. That was going to be the team for Sunday, I would have thought. But now, I don't know. Could he do something like? Could he do something like this? Could he do something more like that, or is it just going to be something simple like? Where are you? Is it going to be that? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? What do you think? That team is getting relegated, says Phil McGroin. Big up to you, Phil. Phil McGroin. Sounds like a Tottenham player. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what we're doing here. So glad we didn't panic and sign a right winger in January, says Biggie Spurs. Mate, it's atrocious though, isn't it? Listen, I want to ask you this, right? At the end of the season, if Tottenham do go down, or whether we stay up or go down, no one's really going to change their opinion on the season. The season's going to be a degree of shit either way, right? We did okay in the Champions League, but we shot ourselves in the foot in the first leg. And the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup were just rubbish. And the Premier League has been atrocious, right? So it's been a bloody horrible, bloody boring, bloody exhausting, terrible football, terrible season. If we stay up, we'll at least breathe a sigh of relief and go, okay, we'll try again next year with De Zerbi. If we go down, it's going to be like the worst season ever, categorically the worst season ever as a Tottenham fan, or for most of our lives anyway. Unless you're maybe 50, 55, 60 years old or something, then maybe you remember something earlier. But for me, where does the blame lie? Like, how much of the blame, or how much of the accountability, how much of the explanation as to why we are where we are falls within the division of injuries? Because everyone is like happy to say, well, you know, the ownership screwed up. The January transfer window was appalling. We shouldn't have let Paratici go. We should have sacked Johan Lang instead. We shouldn't have brought in Igor Tudor. We shouldn't have even signed Thomas Frank. You know, well, some people say we shouldn't have sacked Thomas Frank. Some people say we shouldn't have sacked Ange Postecoglou. There's a lot of accountability and a lot of like the explanations are going into those divisions, which of course are reasonable and fair and part of the problem. But do you what percentage of the kind of reason as we are where we are is because of our extraordinarily poor injury crisis? I'm not using that as an excuse, but just want to see where you sit in the. If it's 60% on the board, 30% on the players not caring, 10% on the manager picking bad formations or making, where do you sit in terms of the accountability in terms of just injuries? You know, can't blame injuries. I should have brought more in. But you can only have 25 people in the squad, though, Kixie. You know, this is the point I was making before on previous channels or previous shows, and that. Even if you went out and spent 500 million quid on building a squad full of 60 million pound players, even if you had the Locatellis, or if you had Semenyo, if you had a better striker, if you still have the same frequency of injuries, if 15 or 16 of your players are out at any particular point in time, or the fewest injuries you've ever had this season is higher than the average most amount of injuries that any other club has had, which was 5. We've never had fewer than 5 or 6. I think it's never had fewer than 6 injuries at any particular point this season. The average most at any point in time for any other team was 5. So it's like extraordinarily bad for us. And so like it doesn't matter. Like you know, not all of the players that we have are injury prone. Yet they come here and they get sick, or they go out, they miss games through not being able to play. So it doesn't, even if you had Semenyo, but he was susceptible, he suddenly fell foul of the Tottenham curse or whatever it is, the Tottenham medical team issues. You know, you can't sign 30 players. You can only have 25 players in the squad. Let's find out what people are saying. 50% injuries, 50% lack of squad planning to allow for rotations to avoid players entering the red zones and getting injured. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in an ideal world, what they could have done is they could have known that Maddison was going to be out for the entire season, and they could have like removed him from the squad and just say, take a year out, and then we'll go and buy another player. They could have done something like that if they wanted to. I don't know if they had any idea at the time that Kulusevski would be out for such a long time. When did Odebear's injury happen? Did Odebear's injury happen in February? Did it happen after the window closed? It did, didn't it? It happened just after the window closed. So Josh says 50%, 50%. Kixer says you can't blame the injuries. Mr. Geek says 25% on the injuries. Yeah, again, not making excuses, but I do think there's obviously explanations or at least considerations in regards to those sorts of things for me. 100%. Big up to you, Geeky. 35% to the bun man. Interesting. We need 22 players full. We need 22 players, 2 full squads, no youth. Then we won't get injuries. Yeah. Well, but injuries have happened throughout the season anyway, haven't they? You know, I don't think that there is a natural first 11. Like I'm looking at Gray and Bergwijn, and to me, I sit there and think Gray and Bergwijn for me are not like particularly different or better than any of the other choices we've got in there. I've seen Pape Sarr, as much as I don't rate Pape Sarr, I think I'd probably put Pape Sarr at the bottom of the pecking order in terms of football's talent, and Bissouma above him. But Bissouma, Sarr, Gray, Bergwijn, they've all had stinkers. They've all had decent appearances. Palhinha and Conor Gallagher. But there's 6 midfielders there for 2 positions, and there's not a massive difference between any of them for me. Not a huge difference at all. You know? Chelsea and Man City signed lots of players, just ruthless about picking the 26 players. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but those guys have got a propensity to pull money out of their arsehole and not worry about those sorts of things, you know. Why the F is no one mentioning the players? It's crazy. What, in terms of why we are where we are? Yeah, I think a lot of the players have sort of thrown their toys out of the pram a little bit, to be honest. Even the ones that have been relatively fit all season, like these two here, you know, they haven't had good seasons and they've been fit for the most part. And this guy, he's been shit. I don't know if. Oh, you know what? I actually say this about Pedro Porro. I am seeing a different side to Pedro Porro. Like he seems to be angry and fighting with screaming and shouting at players a lot more. So maybe like, you know, his professionalism and his desire and his grit and stuff that I've always appreciated about him, the work rate that he puts in off the ball and those sorts of things. I've always sort of maybe not really noticed a bad part of his personality. You can notice bad parts of his game, but I haven't really noticed huge sort of detrimental parts of his personality. But recently I've seen him arguing with fans, arguing with other players, arguing with the managers and things, or at least showing like he's, you know, when he slammed the ball down, slammed the bottle down and slammed his shoes down when he came off the pitch. Although I'm still not sure who he was angry with in that situation. Was he angry with just the general scenario? Was he angry with the 4th official? I don't know. But yeah, there's certainly been lots, and you could make the same argument for this guy. At times, he looked a little bit petulant. Kolo Muani hasn't turned up for the most part for the first 3 quarters of the season. You know, there's a lot of players that I think you could sit there and say that they haven't really shown a lot of will and desire as a team to get us out of the problems that we're in, which is problematic, you know. Very, very problematic. What else was I going to say to you about Ronald Araujo? Let's have a look at this guy, right? So Ronald Araujo, the centre-back. Again, I don't really know why this link is still here at the moment, but it's back again that apparently Araujo is linked to Tottenham. I don't see that happening at all, so I'm not even going to bother talking about it. Look, guys, it's a problem. Do you see Tottenham Hotspur? How much of an impact do you see Tottenham Hotspur having on? The injury to Mohammed Kudus having. If Kolo Muani's up for it, if Kolo Muani is feisty and firing, then I think that there'll be. I think he can do a job over there. He's certainly not going to provide the kind of the ability to keep hold of the ball quite as well as Kudus can, but he can when he's up for it, when he's motivated. Kudus, Muani can take a player on. He's got rangy legs that can beat the left back. Who is the left back for Sunderland at the moment? Is it our ex-player? Is it not Shirky? What was his name? I forget what his name is. Yeah, like Sugar Ray Valentine, 100%, mate. 100%. He's not coming in. What's he saying? Chinwag Spurs is saying massive Sean. He was at my last hope, to be honest. Yeah, it's a real big blow, that, isn't it? It's a absolutely critical blow. But you know what? If he hasn't been in the training all week, then as far as the preparation for Sunderland goes, it's not going to have affected anything. It's going to have affected our opinion of our chances. I thought that Tottenham could go there and get a point, and maybe even sneak a win. De Zerbi's first game, new manager bounce. Is this going to be a manager bounce that we didn't get a manager bounce with Igor Tudor? Do we get a bounce with De Zerbi? Well, I was hoping so, but really part of my reasons for thinking, this will be, I was getting more positive, but like I said, was because I just saw a team that was starting to come back to shape and have more balance, and maybe Kudus wasn't going to be ready for anything more than 20 minutes against Sunderland. But then maybe he played 45 or whatever against Brighton, and then for the final 5 games he'd be back. But if he's out for the season now, then we've got those 4 options at the top, haven't we? Because we're not going to see Odebear, and so the only other options we can like piss around with players out of positions again, like Bergvall out there on the right hand side, or if he wants to change his tactic and go to a 4-3 like a Christmas tree. Let's see what the Christmas tree could look like. Yeah, I mean, I thought I'm not even sure how he would do the Christmas tree with this. Even if you were to, yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. Is it going to be like that, and then you just move him and bring in someone like? Is it going to be something like that? Could that be what it is? 4-3-2-1 now, Christmas tree. Maybe that's the way he'll go, and let Matisse Tell float out here when necessary. But then Xavi Simons isn't going to want to float out here, is he? Xavi Simons is not going to float that way. So, yeah. Or could it be something more like this? I honestly don't know what we're going to do. Xavi Simons will definitely be a massive part of the squad. So, how do you guys see it working? RDZ loses his first 2 games 100%. Pete says Tell won't play. Interesting. Oh, there's a couple more super chiddly chit-chats. Is there? A user says, so does that mean that Kudus was rushed back? Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was under the impression that he was back training, but then when the report broke and they said, well, he's been doing individual training, I was like, actually, that's a good point. I haven't seen him training. I haven't seen him in any of the training videos at all. I haven't seen him anywhere. So maybe we were all just getting ahead of ourselves thinking he was ready, but he clearly isn't. But whether he was rushed back or not, again, I don't know. But like, it begs the question: what is going on, isn't it, with regards the medical team? It just can't be bad luck all the time. At this point, I'd like to bring in an exorcist. See if there's bring in some reverend or some, I don't know, witch doctor or whatever, and say, can you sense whether there's like bad omens, bad juju on the football club? Because it does look a little bit odd, doesn't it? Does look a little bit odd. Big up to you, though. Big up to Boxy as well. Another one. Box, what are you doing, Kev? Mate, very, very generous, mate. Super generous. He says, Shawnee, I'm coming across the pond next week for the Brighton game. Let's grab a pint if you're planning on going. I'll be there, my man. I'll be there. 100%, bro. 100%. I'll reach out to you in the WhatsApp group, mate. And I usually go to the 8 bar before the game. There'll probably be the, well, depends on what happens against Sunderland. But if we get a win against Sunderland, if we do, then I would imagine that there'll be another one of those sort of. I think there's probably going to be one anyway. From what I've been told, there was conversations happening with the club last night or the night before last with regards the same people that organised the first coach welcome. You know, the parade or whatever it is, not parade, the sort of stand up, stay up, whatever it was called. Turn up, stand up, stay up or something. So that might happen again. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. If it's a nice day, Kev, then it was really cool. You know, getting to like just hanging around outside, drinking Magnums. Although, to be honest, I think I'm off the Magnums. I've figured out why like what's been going on, because last night I had 3 Magnums and it was my final test pilot of whether I need to knock the Magnums on the head. And I had 3 on the rabbit hole ramblings, and I hadn't drunk all day, and I had 3 of them on the show. And by the end of an hour and a half, I was pissed again. So for me, I think those Magnums are they're just too strong, or I'm just not used to it yet, which leads you down the path of going, do you persevere until your body jumps on board and acclimates, or do you give it up? Because, you know, for me, it's about volume of alcohol, you know, and they're little things, aren't they? So like if you're only drinking a couple of things and then you're pissed, then you can end up being a donut. So anyway, big up to you, Kev. Thank you very much for the generous donation, mate. Yes, I'll be at the Brighton game unless something changes, but I should be at the Brighton game, and it should be a really nice day, especially if the weather's lovely. So yeah, 100%, mate. We'll grab a beer. Be good to get to know you, mate. Good to meet you. Thank you again for your generosity, buddy. Thank you again. What are we doing here? Magnum out, says Ev Mo. I do like the Magnum, so I do really like it. Rasta Sean. Nigerian, mate. Nigerian. 8% Nigerian. But a little bit me. I feel like I've got a bit of Rasta in me as well, you know? I feel like we've got a bit of Rasta in me. Tell me you're an alcoholic without telling me. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Functioning, mate. Functioning alcoholic. You know? Functioning. Sean, have 1 Magnum to lay the foundations, then move on to your usual drink. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I do like them, but like I say, it's just not enough in it for the impact, because I'd like to have another one pretty soon afterwards. So it's danger. Where was I? So yeah, look, I mean, that is terrible news, isn't it? Terrible news. But does it change anything? Like I say, I don't think it's changed the preparation for De Zerbi, because De Zerbi won't have actually had any time with him on the training ground. So in terms of De Zerbi's prep, he might have been looking forward to getting Kudus back. But in terms of, he's been working with whatever he's been working with. So the squad that have been doing there this week, like the last 6 or 7 days, whatever it is, they will have been preparing under the assumption that Kudus wasn't going to be fit. So I don't think it necessarily changes our abilities in the game. It might just change the fans' expectations, who were under the impression that Kudus was going to be fit, even if that wasn't ever going to be the case. But certainly it does put a dent in our stay up hopes if he's out for the rest of the season and requires surgery. And also, of course, shame for him that, you know, he's probably going to miss out on his on the World Cup as well, if that's the case. You know, that would be devastating for him. But yeah, the club is cursed, mate. The club is cursed, Sugar Puffs. Like that name, by the way. But like that name. Isn't there a winger in the under-21s who De Zerbi might bring in? Oh, you just go with what's his name, wouldn't you? Is there a game? There's a game tomorrow. Our last game was against West Ham for the under-21s. I think we beat them. We beat West Ham 3-2. Can I see the squad? No, I can't see it. Never mind. Yeah, big up to you, Logan. How you doing, mate? As I say, guys, there's not a huge amount to talk about. I just wanted to go live and sort of just quickly speak to you lot for a little while and say, what is crack-a-lacking? You know, for me, other stories, though, there are a couple of other stories that I spoke about yesterday. The idea of bringing in, I do want to get your thoughts on Verbruggen versus James Trafford. According to some reports that are out there from Caught Offside and Give Me Sport, all those guys, and, you know, like whatever the strength of the link is, that James Trafford would be willing to come to Tottenham, even above Newcastle. And I thought James Trafford was a Cumbrian guy. I thought he was from Cumbria. So isn't that North East. He's kind of at home. Like Newcastle, a bit more of a settled team than Tottenham. He would have gone there earlier on. The Newcastle still want him after he sort of went to Manchester City instead of choosing them. Once bitten, twice shy. I don't know. But according to reports, James Trafford would choose Tottenham and would be happy to be our first team number one, even in a world where we went down. And you start to sit there and go, really? I don't think so. He didn't leave Burnley to go to a bigger team to then go and play in the Championship for a year. I know he's a young goalkeeper. He's got plenty of time on his side, but I'm not sure about that one. Do I rate James Trafford 100%? Do I rate his ability with the ball 100%? I do. I wasn't impressed when I saw James Trafford against Tottenham at the start of the season. He made a couple of faux pas. So does he have that kind of bozo gene in him? Well, look, same with Kinski. They're young guys, and obviously when you make mistakes, and you probably, inexperience is, and under pressure, you're going to have a higher propensity of making mistakes when you're young than when you've got all that experience under your belt, and it's not quite of a bigger an occasion. But he did struggle against Tottenham. That said, I do think he's a very good, very talented goalkeeper. But I do like Verbruggen. I'm a big fan of Verbruggen. I think he's really casual is the wrong word, but he's just consummate. I think he does it with sort of consummate ease. His goalkeeping stuff. He's a good shot stopper. He claims the ball well. Good distribution. There's nothing to dislike about Verbruggen for me. I rate him. The only thing I would say is that I prefer our goalkeepers to be homegrown. I just feel like when you have squad spots taken up, like the people that are on the bench, for example, being non-homegrown, it's unnecessary to have your foreign contingent, not that we'll be playing in Europe anyway, but to have your foreign contingent occupied by squad spots on the bench for goalkeepers. So I think that you could make the argument that that for me, James Trafford would make sense. I'd take either of them over Vicario and certainly Kinski. Who else we're looking at? Kelleher, yeah. Kelleher, Brentford are a bastard to deal with, mate. But yeah, I like Kelleher as well. He's absolutely sensationale. Is that right, Benny boy, is it? Verbruggen is wanted by Bayern. How old is Manuel Neuer now? How old is he? Wow, he's 40. Fucking hell, how time flies. I remember when Manuel Neuer was coming up. He's only a couple of years younger than me. Jesus Christ, time's flown by. Did he replace Oliver Kahn? Did it go straight from Oliver Kahn to Manuel Neuer? I forget. Because Oliver Kahn was a goalkeeper into his old age, wasn't he? 40? What's wrong with going out with a girl who's 40? Nothing. Nothing at all. If you happen to be 50, she's even too old for me, Rodney. Well, I'd have to think twice. Del Boy, Only Fools and Horses, absolute goldmine of humour. Goldmine of humour. 40? Even I'd have to think twice. Grandpa with the absolute fucking nail in the coffin. Absolute classic. 40 is the new 20, according to Modric. 100%. If any of you lot are in America, people like Kev, if you haven't seen it, I mean, you might not get it. You might not get the humor. But there was a show called Only Fools and Horses, and it went from like, I don't know, the early 80s all the way through until I think the last show was like 2004, 2005 or something. It was just the greatest TV show ever made in English, in my opinion, in English history. It beats everything. It beats absolutely everything. Absolutely fantastic. The only problem is, unfortunately, and this is probably more for the rabbit hole, and I don't want to say anything out loud because it's all alleged, but there's apparently going to be something that like a secret that comes out when a certain person passes away, and it's going to be on a level with other people whose dirty secrets came out after they passed away. I'm not going to say anything because I've seen people talking about it on podcasts, and they don't want to actually say it out loud because they don't want to get sued, and neither do I. But apparently, it's going to break my heart if it's true. It's going to break my heart if it's true. Yeah, love the poker scene. Yeah. You two pair. You went all that way with two rotten pair. Come on in, Dill. Let's see your two pair. well, I've got a pair of aces and I've got another pair of aces. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely terrific. Sean, that's 100% true. Yeah, if it's true, Kate, it's going to ruin my childhood. You know? So, anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. How about a 72-year-old virgin? What's that? Is that a line from the show? I don't remember that. Falling through the bar. Yeah. The chandeliers. No, brace yourself, Rodney. Oh no. Anyway. By the way, guys, do get over the rabbit hole is back. We did a show last night about the rabbit hole. It was fun. 2 hours of talking about World War III, faith wars, and it got a little bit spicy. As I say on that show, if you do find that show from here and you're into that stuff, just try and separate my opinions and the guests that I have that come on to here and on there. Try and separate the two, because sometimes the topic, the takes are controversial, and never the two shall meet, so to speak, if you know what I mean. What are we doing here? Anthony Murphy. Big up to Anthony Murphy. Big up to you, mate, for the super sticker. Thank you very much, mate. Choo choo to you, bro. Choo choo to you. Hello, Margate. Lock up your daughters. All right, Alan. Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You could have said, mate. What could I have said, Stephen? What could I have said? Yeah, what happens on the rabbit hole stays on the rabbit hole. Yeah. I just really hope that the people in the powers around the world that they figure out what they're doing and get their finger out of their arse, so that we don't all so there's a button isn't pushed, because it's egos are going to ego and all that jazz, aren't they? What are we saying about James Trafford then? That's also from Tom Barkley. James Trafford coming to Tottenham. I'd take James Trafford. I could see us building. He's good with the ball at his feet. I could see us building a new team with like some sort of younger camaraderie, sort of think like the Poch 2016 team. It was just getting going, wasn't it? It was just getting going, and it just gelled well. You had a manager that knew how to get the best out of players. You have a team of talented individuals that grew up together, good camaraderie, good energy. There was lots of things to look forward to at Tottenham Hotspur outside of the football, though. Like there was moving to Wembley, playing in front of 85,000, and then knowing that you had the stadium to move into in a couple of years. All of that stuff was the perfect storm of good energy. And obviously, we don't have a lot of those things right now. In fact, it's probably the opposite. But if we can stay up, I do think that De Zerbi could be someone that could, forge some sort of a different type of energy. Certainly a different type of guy. He's a firecracker of a guy. But if he really does have some of the wiggle room and the kind of the power in his hands that has been reported, then if we can stay up, players, I like someone like a James Trafford. You bring him in. I think it could be the start of a genesis of a new era, a new team. We do have a lot of young, talented players. Bergvall and Archie Gray being the linchpin in the midfield. You still need a better passing six to get in there, or passing eight, whatever, like a Locatelli. Do you know, it was 3 years ago. Did I tell this to you the other day? 3 years ago to the day, a couple of days ago, that I was talking about Locatelli being available for 20 million quid. And 3 years later, we're still waiting, still hanging around for him to come to Tottenham. I'd love it if he could come. I don't know if he will. I doubt he will. I think they're going to try and sign him on a new contract. But you do have a lot of young talent in the team. You've got some young players out. I do want to ask you guys about Will Lancashire. All of a sudden, I've been seeing lots of noise in the last sort of 48 hours ever since Will Lancashire's goal for Oxford against Portsmouth, about him suddenly being brought back and being a pivotal part of Tottenham next season. Probably more so if we were in the Championship. I would imagine if we were in the Championship, he'd be a part of the squad. If we stay up, is he really going to be a part of the Premier League squad? Look, there's something about Will Lancashire. I said it to you for ages. He's not the all-round player, but his ability to be in the right place at the right time, for me, is something that you should pay attention to. Like he always seems to find himself in good positions. He did for the Oxford Portsmouth goal. He sort of predicted and he sort of assumed where the ball was going to get thrown into, made the right time. It's a lovely bullet header, brave, courageous. I remember when I went to Reading for the pre-season, he scored a good goal. It flicked off of Vuskevic's header for the corner kick in that 8-minute spell when Vuskovic came on, and he scored a goal, got an assist, and did a goal line clearance all in 8 minutes, the first 8 minutes of his Tottenham career. But that flicked on header, nobody else sort of read that at all. But Will Lancashire did. There's something about and he scored the goal. There's something about his ability to read the game and interpret what's going on that I think could be valuable. I think it should be honed. I don't mind him being a part of the squad next season to get minutes here and there if we get the chance. I don't, especially definitely if we go down. But even if we stay up, I think he's got something to offer. He scored a good goal against away at Galatasaray. I know he got sent off about 10 minutes later, but again, his ability to predict where the ball's going to be and get there before someone else does, those sorts of things are. You haven't got to be someone that's a perfect footballer if you're in the right place at the right time. You're doing like half of the job is done, isn't it? It's what made Kane so good. Exactly, Telesto. Yeah, I'm not comparing Will Lancashire to Harry Kane, but there's something in Will Lancashire. How old is Will Lancashire now? Is he 21? Will Lancashire is 20. 20. And look, Harry Kane broke through when he was 21, didn't he? So you never know. 10 goals in the Championship, not a bad season. Not a bad season at all. Not a bad season at all. Whoever sent Yang to Coventry should be sacked. That's Johan Lang, isn't it? Johan Lang. Doing the Lord's work. Absolute idiot. Get rid of these clowns now, says Eddie. Adiz Ahmed. Big up to you, Adiz. How you doing, mate? Yeah, terrible news, mate. Terrible news about Mohammed Kudus. But look, we'll come through worse. I just think it's going to make it very difficult to play 4-2-3-1 if you don't have anyone coming back now. We've got no right winger at all. Kudus was supposed to be back. Now what do you do? We spoke all summer about not having a left winger, and it turned out that we don't really have high quality in either position anymore because of these bloody injuries. So we're gonna have to make do. But if he wants to play a Christmas tree, I mean, could you play Xavi Simons on the right side of a Christmas tree double 10 and just say you can float into the left, and then tell Matisse you can be on the left side of the two, but then float out towards the left-hand side more. So it's kind of all a little bit skewed. But then again, you're just out of balance, aren't you? And people can predict what you're going to do in that regard. How long is he out? We don't know, Paul. It's not even confirmed. It's confirmed that there are rumours that it's confirmed that he's out from Tom Barkley and Ali Golden, etc. Divine's doing well at Preston too. Yeah. I remember Brian Daigle was like mad about Alfie Devine about 4 years ago, saying this kid's going to be something spectacular. It hasn't really worked out so far, has it? It's 3 months, is it? Oh, is it confirmed? Is it confirmed? I haven't seen. Is it confirmed now? Let's have a look. What are we doing there? Timothy. Yeah, it doesn't say it. No, there's no confirmation, guys. There's no confirmation at all. Listen, guys, I need someone to help me out with some predicciones. If you don't mind, can someone please play the role of the predictions for let me get it up. What am I doing here? All over the place without Johnny. All over the place. Open it up, you little shit. Open, go. Right, here's what I need. I need someone who hasn't done it before to play. I just need predictions for the Premier League games that start tomorrow night, if that's okay with you. Let me see in the chat. Anyone want to step up? And I'll tell you the rules in a second for those of you that aren't familiar. But we do. You need to also predict a goal scorer or someone who's gonna. You get to pick a player essentially who hasn't already been picked. That who's saying I'm in? Someone's done it. I'll have a go. Gary Bull. Okay, you'll do it. Gary Bull, over to you, my man. Pretty simple. I just need predictions for the games. Let's start with West Ham versus Wolves. I think this game, obviously, it's a pivotal game. I think this game is going to be, unfortunately, I'm going to say 2-1 to West Ham. I just got a feeling that they're going to do it against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'll find out what Johnny says after the fact. What are you saying, my man, in the chat? Where are we? Gary Bull says 2-2. Okay, big up to you. Big up to you on that one. I'll find out what Johnny says later. For the next game, who's the next game? It's Arsenal versus Bournemouth, 12:30 on Saturday. Interesting game, this one, isn't it? Like massive pressure on Arsenal. They managed to get a point, or get the 3 points or the first leg win against Sporting, but they'll probably be tired from the game. Are they going to rest or rotate any players? I don't think Arteta really has the option to. I've got a feeling that Bournemouth are going to get something out of this. I'm going to say 2-2 to a Desmond 2-2 and Arsenal on the panic. Arsenal on the panico. Where are we, boys? Where are we? It's Gary Bull. Let's have a look. What are we doing here? Maybe it's Gary. Where's Gary? 3-2 to Arsenal. Interesting. What's the next game out? The next game out is going to be Brentford versus Everton. For me, this game is... I mean, Brentford's home form is still very good. Everton's away form is very good. Everton pushing for an outside chance of Europe or decent European spot, probably Europa League. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw on this one. There's so many draws at the moment that it's pretty easy just to feel safe. It's safe that a score draw is the way forward for me. What are you saying there, my man? 1-1s, 0-0s, 1-1s, 3-1 to Everton, says Alpesh. What are you saying, Gary, on that one, my man? Sticky Toffees 2-1 says 10 month. 2-1 as well. 2-1 as well to Evertonian. Interesting. Next up is Burnley versus Brighton. Bit of a dead rubber, this one, isn't it? Neither team have got much to go for. I'm going to say this one finishes... I'm going to go for 1-1 as well on this one. Brighton 4. Brighton 4-1. Have Brighton got anything to fight for? I don't think Brighton have got much to fight for at all, have they? 1-1 as well from Gary. Big up to you, Gary. Thank you for your help on this one. Liverpool Fulham. Liverpool have to win, right? Liverpool have to win. If Liverpool don't win, then their Champions League sort of situation is looking particularly dire. But Fulham have also got things to fight for. However, Liverpool also tired from the PSG trip. I've got 2-1 to Liverpool on this one for me. 2-1 to Liverpool on this one. Easy peasy. 3-0 Brighton, 2-1 Brighton, 4-1 Brighton. You're thinking about a Brighton score, right? Brighton win. Interesting. Liverpool 3-1. Safe with a score draw. Adam score draw lock. There he is. Mate, you're supposed to be driving. Get your phone down. You're driving to Essex from fucking Glasgow. You must have stopped somewhere, have you? 2-1 Liverpool. Gary Bull says 2-2. Interesting, Gary. Interesting. What's the next one? That's Saturday night. Sunday, Crystal Palace, Newcastle. Crystal Palace, Newcastle. Who else we got on Sunday? Forest, Villa. Ooh. And Sunderland, Spurs. Is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, and then Chelsea, Man City as well. Okay, 1 second. I mean, on Monday, it's Man United. Leeds, what a game that is. All right, so Crystal Palace, Newcastle. Crystal Palace, Newcastle. What are we doing here with regards? Crystal Palace in 14th. They're safe. Nothing to fight for. Newcastle United in 12th. They're safe, obviously. They're only 4 points away from 7th, though. Yeah, I think this one could go Newcastle away form's dog shit, isn't it? I'm going to go 2-2. Desmond it up. Desmond it up. What are we saying here, people? Big up, Sean. Big up to you, Prene. Big up to you. Pains me to root for Villa, 100%. 1-0 Palace, says Mike Ward. Interesting. Bookie TV. Big up to you, Bookie. Thank you for letting me know how to do the hype thing. I looked into the hype thing, though. It's kind of irrelevant. Like all it does is if you get enough hype points to actually get into the top 100, which is a fucking stretch anyway. But if you do get enough hype points, then it doesn't do it, or it just allows you to be found by people that are looking on the hyped video list. And how many people are doing that, you know? But hype the video anyway, can't hurt rather. What are we doing here? Where are you, Gary? Where are you, Gary? 3-1. Is that Crystal Palace Newcastle? Yeah. Okay. 1-3. Forest Villa. Apparently Chris Wood's back. Villa, are Villa still on a downward trajectory? What have they done? Well, they've lost 3 of their last 4. They did beat, who'd they been last time? They got Forest. It's important for them to get the points here to keep Liverpool at bay. I'm actually going to go, and I'm hoping for this, for a 2-1 to Villa for me. 2-1 to Villa. What are we doing here? Villa 3-1, says Mike Ward. 1-1, says 10 Man. 2-0 Forest, but hopefully Villa. 2-2. Yeah, all these games are tight, aren't they? There's no such thing as an easy game in the Premier League for sure. 3-1 Villa. Mates are Forest fans. They're nervous about Villa. Yeah, I hope so. Villa are a team that can turn it on, can't they, when they want to? But they've just been really disappointing lately. You know? Where are you, Gary? Can I see you? Gary Ball, 2-0. 2-0. Interesting. Sunderland Spurs, the big one. The big one. I'm going to go for 2-2. 2-2. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-2. 2-2. Desmond. First game's going to be interesting to see how we go. I'm not even sure if I'll make the game. I've got such a big day on Saturday. I'm going horse racing now with the boys in Newcastle on Saturday. Then out all night Saturday night. Then up for the game Sunday. And you know what I'm like. Keep me away from those magnums. 3-2 Spurs, says Sully. 4-3 Spurs, says Adam. Prene's going 3-1. 10 Men saying 3-2 to Sunderland. Nike's 2-1 Spurs. Interesting. Gary Ball's going for a 2-3 to Tottenham. To Tottenham. Very cool. Chelsea versus Manchester City. Chelsea need this one, don't they? If Chelsea don't lose, Man City need to win to keep the pressure on Arsenal. It's away at Chelsea. Chelsea would probably love to get the points here, but I think, you know what? This is a hard game. But Chelsea are letting themselves down all the time. I'm going to go for. I'd love it if City do something confident. I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester City and Chelsea season in the mud. They are. If Chelsea do lose against City at home, you could see them by the end of the weekend down in 8th. You could see them down in 8th. And that donut Liam Rosinia, whatever, Reservoir, he's no good, is he? 0-2 to City, says my man Gary. And last but by no means least, guys, is Manchester United Leeds. Man United sitting comfortable in 3rd. Leeds down in 33. As much as I hate Manchester United, I think this is going to be 3-0, and I'm happy to see it because I need Leeds to get their ass handed to them. And I need Leeds. But what's the goal difference? Hang on, our goal difference now -10. Fucking hell, our goal difference. I know we've got 11 over West Ham, but our goal difference between us and Nottingham Forest and Leeds is sweet FA. Leeds have got a plus 11 goal difference. Forest have got a plus 12 goal difference. We've got a plus 10 goal difference. That's what happens when you lose 4 of the last, or 6 of the last 7, or whatever it is. You know? Anyway, yeah, that Nottingham Forest game really hurt our goal difference, didn't it? Jesus Christ. Manchester United Leeds, I've gone for 3-0. What have you gone for, Gary? What have you gone for, my man? 3-1 Man United. Okie dokie. And last but by no means least, what I need from you guys, what I need from you, from Gary, is a goal scorer, or someone that can score a goal or get an assist. And it can't be any of the following players, right? You can't have Pedro. You can't have Krupi. You can't have Somerville. You can't have Muani or Rayan or Buendia or Wilson or Mbumo or Fernandez, Xavi Simons, Bruno Guimaraes, Richie, Cunha, Ekitike, Cherki, Saka, Harvey Barnes, Igor Thiago, Phil Foden, Odebear, Bowen, Rodgers, Gakpo, Voltamade, Haaland, Grealish, Kudus, Rice, Richie, use Richie twice, Salah, they're out of there. Right? So none of those names. Basically no players at the top end of the park that you could probably use. Iwobi of Fulham, says Alpesh. That's a great pick. Danny Welbeck. That's a great pick. That is a great pick. What are you going for then? Where is he? Where's my man? He hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet. Or Semenya. Semenya not been picked. Right, where is he? He's going for Danny Welbeck. You know what? I'm going to join you on that one. I haven't used him either, I don't think. Have I used Welbeck? Gordon, Sesko, Bowen, Sade, Talby, Cherky, Martinelli, Brobby, Wilson, DCL. Yeah, I'm going to use Welbeck as well. I think that's a great pick. Well done. Well done, everybody. All right, I'll get Johnny's things off him, his predictions off him, and update everybody later on. But that's it, guys. That's it from me. Appreciate everyone. There's a super sticker I haven't put in yet. Paul Petty, big up to you for the super sticker, mate. Choo to you, bro. Choo to you, buddy. Appreciate you. Sorry for the short show, guys. Not a lot to talk about. Just devastating news regarding Mohammed Kudus. Appreciate you all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on Football Link if you're over there. Don't forget, OK Jersey, 8% off for all your national team kits and football kits and everything else. Any club you're looking for, search OK Jersey, use code Sean or Football Inc. or Think, F-I-N-C, at checkout. Gets you 8% off. We love you all. We love you all. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you all. Like, subscribe, and comment. As always, bye-bye.